Howdy, y'all. This is Pastor Rob, and today we're going to be looking in the Bible to see what it says about zeal. Well, you're probably wondering, what is zeal? Well, in Romans 12:11, it gives us a pretty good biblical definition of what it is. It states, "Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord." That means that zeal really characterizes someone's spiritual life. It's a spiritual fervor for God. Zeal is a way that someone carries themselves spiritually. And now that we know what zeal is, how do we improve it? How do we make it better in our lives? How do we make zeal something noticeable and make it an application in our everyday life? Well, in Romans 10:2, it says, "For I bear them witness that they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge." That explains that zeal is based on an intellectual understanding, an intelligent understanding. You have to know what you're doing. It's not something you're blindly following or just blindly walking into. You have a clear understanding of what you're practicing, and you outshine it so that others can see it. In Titus 2:14, it says, "Who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from every lawless deed and purify for himself his own special people, zealous for good works." That explains that Christ chose us as his special people, and he will make us full of zeal automatically to do good. So zeal, once you're zealous for God, doing good will follow. It automatically happens. That's one way you can recognize it. It continues to state that in Peter 1:5-8, "But also for this reason, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, to virtue knowledge, to knowledge self-control, to self-control perseverance, to perseverance godliness, to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness love." This teaches us that zeal doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from faithfulness in the beginning. And as your faithfulness grows, it grows into virtue. And as your virtue grows, it grows into knowledge. And as knowledge grows, it becomes self-control. And as self-control grows, it becomes godliness, or it becomes perseverance, And as perseverance grows, it becomes godliness. And as godliness grows, brotherly kindness will come. And as brotherly kindness comes, love comes. And I really like this verse because there's something that coincides in other practices of faith and other spiritual paths. I think that quote or that saying goes, "Beware your thoughts, for they become your words. Beware your words, for they become your actions. Beware your actions, for they become your destiny." And this passage from Peter just really gives us a much deeper understanding of that phrase that is so well known. It also tells us, it coincides again with the intelligent understanding, because you gain knowledge through faith and virtue, and you can't have zeal with blindly following. It comes from knowledge. So now that we know how to improve our zeal, what is the actual purpose of it? Why do we need zeal? What's the reason to be zealous? Well, there's a few reasons. The main one I'll get to at the end and when we close, but we'll work up to it first in Revelations 3:15-16 and 19 states, "I know your works, that you are neither cold nor hot. I could wish you were cold or hot. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth. As many as I love, I will rebuke and chasten. Therefore, be zealous and repent." That teaches us that Jesus cannot use us if we are complacent. We have to be zealous in order to be the correct instruments that God intended for us to be. And that becomes important because in the next verse it states in Psalm 69:9, "Because zeal for your house has eaten me up, and the reproaches of those who reproach you have fallen unto me." That means that when we're zealous for God, it means we take part in the suffering for his sake. So God's not suffering alone. When we're zealous for God, we take a part of that for him so that he's not suffering alone. It continues in James 4:8. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. This teaches us that when we're zealous for God, we're single-minded and focused. We're not distracted. Distractions miss us because we're zealous for God and we're on a one track. We know what we're doing. We're dedicated. And the main goal of zeal, the main reason to be zealous is mentioned in Ecclesiastes 11:5-6. As you do not know what is the way of the wind, or how bones grow in the womb of her who is with child, so you do not know the works of God, who makes everything. In the morning sow your seed, and in the evening do not withhold your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or whether both alike will be good. This teaches us that when we're zealous, we have to seek the salvation of souls in all that we do. Zeal helps us save souls, and that's the main goal. Have a blessed day.